Maybe this is working. A what? Oh, good. They're all math videos on there. They're all classes. We're on page 54. Let me get the window so it's a little clearer. So, as your quizzes from yesterday showed, you guys are really good with writing the equation of a line if I tell you the slope and I tell you points. We're not quite so good with keeping our mouths over our noses, though. Thank you. Now we're doing better. You're really good with writing the equation of a line if I give you the slope and give you a point. What we need to look at today, though, is what if I don't even tell you the slope, just tell you 2 random points our line goes through. For this first example, and we're going to do this without using algebra, we're going to try to write the equation of a line that goes through those 2 points. And if you have no clue how to do this, and I just told you we're not doing this with algebra, and I gave you a grid over here, what might be helpful to try to do? Let's graph those 2 points. Let's draw the line through them. That's why Ms. L just gave you a ruler. Let's go graph those 2 points, 2, 4 and 4, 7. Draw the line through them, and then we'll see if we can look at it and make the equation. And then we'll see if we can get a better way of dealing with this one. Let's see, 2, 4, 4, 7. You know what? I bet you can probably find the equation. See if you can get your whole y equals mx plus b equation. I think you can look at that line, figure out your slope. I think you can get your b. Let's try it. No algebra here. Algebra's coming in like 30 seconds. Hands if you think you have an answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with Ilya for this one. I want an entire equation of the line, though. Do you have the whole equation?
Y equals root over 2x plus 1.
Nevaeh, what were you going to say? Okay, Sarah? Nevaeh's answer, Ilya's answer, some other answer? I would say 1 because we actually do know the y-intercept. I see it crossing the y-axis right over there at 1. So we can fill that in. We can say y equals 3/2 x plus 1. The issue with this method is we need to have a grid. We need points that'll fit on the grid. Oh, so yours is your y-intercept is definitely going to be wrong if you don't use a ruler. You've got to be so precise to see it. And even if you do use a ruler, it could still end up being a little bit off and you'll miss the y-intercept. There's a better way to do this using some algebra. That's what we're going to deal with today. Number 1 on the bottom. We are going to write the equation of the line through the 2 points 1, 5 and 2, 8. Please copy that down. Don't do anything else yet with it, though. Let's just get that problem in our notes. Write the equation of the line through 1, 5 and 2, 8. I already know what this had better end up looking like. Doesn't it have to end up looking like y equals mx plus b? Isn't that how these always work? No. Yes? No? I think all slanted lines. Yes. We're going to write the equation of the line through 1 comma 5 and 2 comma 8. You good there? Okay, my answer, I know it's got to look like y equals mx plus b. Step number 1 in doing this, let's say we're going to write the formula y equals mx plus b. Did I tell you the slope? Ew. Did I tell you the y-intercept? I don't think I told you anything. No. I told you 2 points. I didn't tell you anything particular. It would be great if I had a way of finding the slope. Anyone have an idea how I'm going to find my slope? Anna Julia? Oh, like the formula we learned yesterday. Yeah. We need our slope. How are we going to get it? By using that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Step number 2. We need to find the slope. How can we find the slope? M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's one of the reasons we learned that formula last year. Let's make sure we're getting this in our notes. So, nope, I see a few of you still coming. You know what, I'm going to come around and grab the rulers, because we shouldn't actually need the rulers anymore today. Grab those. Oh. And you put them down here. I found where you hid the rulers. Okay, so I need to go and I need to find my slope. I'm going to go and I'm going to label my coordinates. I'm going to say x1, y1, x2, y2, just like we did yesterday. And then we can say our slope, m equals, okay, y2 minus y1, 8 minus 5, over x2 minus x1 over 2 minus 1. Go finish that off and get me a slope. What was that? 3 2s? Nope. I think 3 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and let's not say that. What do I really want you to say instead?
3. Simplify.
Let's just call it 3. We've got our slope. Our slope is 3. Which means I know my equation has got to be y equals, do I know the slope? Now I do. Y equals 3x plus b. Step number 3. Write the equation with m filled in. Write the equation with m filled in, because we now know the m. My equation is going to be y equals 3x plus b. Which is kind of like how we started those equations 2 days ago, where I just told you the slope. Now I'm not telling it to you. You have to find it. We've got that. So now, Elena. I gotta find the b. How can we do that? What did we do on that quiz you took yesterday? How did you find the b yesterday? When I told you the slope and you had to find the b, what did you have to do? You were good at this. You know what? Could you pull those up for a moment? Anna Julia. Yeah, exactly. So we need to plug in a number for x and a number for y, and then make an equation and solve that. Here's something weird, though. What should I use? Should I use 1, 5? Should I use 2, 8? Or will it not matter? We've got one vote for it doesn't matter. You know what? Why don't we try it both ways and see what happens? And then I'll continue writing my directions in a moment. Let's try plugging in 1, 5. If we do that, we're going to get 5 equals 3 times 1 plus b. You totally know how to finish. Go finish that. So b is 2. Yeah. 5 equals 3 plus b. Minus 3 minus 3. B equals 2. Which means my equation should be y equals 3x plus 2. You don't have to copy down this next thing. I decided to use 1, 5. What if instead I use 2, 8? Sarah said it probably shouldn't matter. I mean, shouldn't it, like, in theory, not make a difference what point you're using, and it better still be the same line? What happens if we plug in 2, 8? If I plug in 2, 8 to this thing, I'm getting 8 equals 3 times 2 plus b. 3 times 2, that's 6. Minus 6 minus 6, what's b here? Doesn't matter which point you're using. Here's what I think you should do. I think you should pick the point that looks simpler, smaller numbers, and definitely like fewest negative numbers. I think the negatives are kind of where we get thrown off a little bit. We're going to make step 4. Pick one of your points, you get a pick, and plug it in for x and y. Pick one of the points and plug in for x and y. Pick one of the points and plug in for x and y. I always try to choose the smaller numbers and definitely the one with the most like positive numbers. We're going to make step 5, use algebra to find b, just like we've done before. Use algebra to find b. And I'm out of space, so I'm going to do step number 6 over here. We're going to make step 6. When we're done, write the equation. And then we'll take a look at a few. We'll do some practice. Exactly. Nope. Really, I gave you 2 points, but technically there are infinitely many points on that line. Any of those will get us our correct b value. Nope, won't matter. Are you still writing, Anna Julia? Still going? Anyone? Okay, let's look at a couple of examples. I think we'll do the examples. We'll do our math break, practice 1 or 2 more together, and then I've got a little worksheet. You're going to try to practice a few more of these. So, we are going to first make sure our masks are over our noses. There we go. We are going to write the equation of the line through 2 comma negative 3, and 5 comma negative 15. I'd like to write the equation of the line that goes through 2 comma negative 3 and 5 comma negative 15. Let's write this problem down. We're going to write the equation of the line through those 2 points. I know eventually it's going to be y equals mx plus b. But the first step is to find your slope. I think I'm going to let you take a moment and do that. Stop after you get the slope, because I got to make sure that's perfect before we do the rest. If the slope's wrong, everything else is going to be a little wrong. Equation of the line through those 2 points, but you're going to start by just getting your slope. You're going to do your x1, y1, your x2, y2, and then we're going to use that formula that we did yesterday. If it was me before using that formula, I would just kind of label my points. x1, y1, x2, y2. I think if you do it correctly, it should end up being like a nice enough number answer, like a not fraction answer. So let's see if we can get that slope. Remember that if you don't trust yourself with negative numbers, just type it into the calculator. Totally fine by me. Yep. What's the bottom? Is your bottom the same as mine? If you do it your way, you're going to get the exact same answer I'm going to get. So as long as... So I bet what you did was made this like x2, y2, x1, y1. Totally fine. Our work's going to look different, but we're going to get this. Are you done with this? Have you finished? What did you get? You got 12 over negative 3, which becomes what? I think that becomes negative 4. Those of you who did it my way, you probably got negative 12 over positive 3. Isn't that still negative 4? This is what Ilya was talking about yesterday. He always wanted to switch the points to make the x2, y2 first. Totally fine. As long as you're consistent, as long as you always do it that way, you'll be okay. So, if we're doing it my way, negative 12 on the top over 3 on the bottom. If you do it Ilya or Anna Julia's way, you're going to get 12 over negative 3. I don't really care, because either way, you're getting negative 4. Which means my equation is y equals negative 4x plus b. Next, we need to plug in a point. Tyler, there's no wrong answer to this. Do you want to use 2 negative 3, or do you want to use 5 negative 15? Okay, so I said there was no wrong answer, but there's definitely a better answer. The better answer is 2 negative 3, just because the numbers are smaller. They each have one positive, one negative. If you use 5 negative 15, you'll still get it right, probably. But I'm going to go with 2 negative. As long as your math is good, you're going to get the same b value. Let's go with 2 negative 3, though, just because I think it's easier. Well, then you need a new calculator. I think if the calculator's not accurate, that probably means you're not typing it in correctly. I'm going to go with 2 negative 3. We're going to get negative 3 equals negative 4 times 2 plus b. How about you guys finish it off and get your b value? Let's see if we can finish this. Let's do the negative 4 times 2. I think it's negative 3 equals negative 4 times 2 plus b. Nevaeh, are you done? What do you have for B? Yeah, I think so. Negative 3 equals negative 8 plus B. Add 8, add 8. You're going to get 5 equals B. My answer is y equals negative 4x plus 5. Your work would have looked different if you used 5, negative 15, but you'd get the same B value. How are we doing? One thing we're going to have to be careful of come our quiz on Tuesday. The quiz is going to be on 3 things: finding slope, writing the equation of a line, and lines in strange forms that we're going to deal with on Monday. If I say find the slope of the line through these 2 points, you're just going to find your negative 4 and you're going to be done. If the directions say write the equation of the line, here's where we're going through all this stuff and then giving our whole y equals mx plus b equation. I think we'll get a little bit of practice with the different language before Monday, but there's a difference between me asking you to just find the slope or to find the whole equation of a line. Find the whole equation of a line, here's where I want the y equals mx plus b. Let's do another one. Writes the equation of the line. I'm just going to abbreviate equation EQN of the line through 6, negative 2, and negative 6 comma negative 4. And once again, once you've copied that down, you find the slope, but then stop, because I got to make sure that's good. I don't think so. I'll be right over. I think that's not an issue with this not here. I need to see the calculation.
Then what you're going to do is these cancel out. You're going to have a positive to 1.
Actually, no idea what I'm doing, because I don't remember what was that? Those are not small negatives. Okay, you want to see a small negative number? It's like, okay, that's not even. These are big. Oh my gosh. Do I need to move you like closer to the front so you can see my negative signs? Yeah. Okay, next problem. I will make it really, really clear. Okay. I am thinking negative 4 minus negative 2 over negative 6 minus 6. Chase, what did you get for your slope?
I got 1 over 6.
1 over 6. Yeah, I think first you probably got negative 2 on the top and negative 12 on the bottom. Yeah, negative over negative is going to make it positive, and 12, you can divide them by 2. I think we can get 1 over 6. My equation, y equals 1/6 x plus b. Sarah, there's no real wrong answer to this one. What are you going to use, 6 negative 2 or negative 6 negative 4? That works. Chase, I think you already did this problem. What did you use?
6 negative 2.
Okay, so you know what? I don't really care. You guys do whatever you want. Let's get answers, and then we'll see if both groups are getting the same thing. They should both be the same. Let's see what you guys can do to figure out that b value. I think personally, 6 negative 2 might be a little easier just because they're both, no, they're not both. They're not both negative like the other one. Whatever, it's all the same. So if you're using 6, negative 2, your first line of work is going to look like this. If you're choosing to use negative 6, negative 4, your first line of work is going to look like this. Of course, I'll put those over 1.
So it doesn't matter.
I think you're either going to get the equation negative 2 equals 1 plus b, or you're going to get the equation negative 4 equals negative 1 plus b. Do you have the second one? Negative 4 equals negative 1 plus b. And Chase, do you have the first one? Is it better? Work out the same? I think they will. Get negative 3 there. If I do it this way, yeah. I'm not going to keep doing this in 2 different ways. But both ways should work. B is negative 3. Y equals 1/6 x minus 3. That should do it for that one. One more in the notes. One more, probably about as tricky as I can make it. And maybe I won't do anything. Maybe I'll just let you see what you can do here. We are going to write the equation of the line. We're going to write the equation of the line through 0, 4. No, we're doing this bigger over here. 0, 4, and 7, 1. I was kind of hoping one of those would be negative so I can make a really big negative sign for Ilya, but I guess not. 0, 4, and 7, 1. Let's see what you guys can do. See if you can do the entire problem. And after this, we'll head outside. Wait for your result, and then you can go. Okay, there's definitely an easier point to use here. But first, that's totally wrong. Let me try this again. How about negative 3 over 7 for a slope? My equation, y equals negative 3/7 x plus b. One of those points is so much easier to use than the other. What am I talking about?
0, 4.
I would so much rather multiply a fraction by 0 than multiply it by 7. 7 is not super hard, but we can make it so much easier by using 0. I think anytime you have a point with a 0, it will be a little easier. 4 equals negative 3/7 times 0 plus b. I could say 0 over 1 and multiply, but I know anything times 0 is going to be 0, so let's not even bother.
Can you show us the other way how you do it?
Yep, absolutely. I don't even have to subtract 0. B is 4, and we're going to get y equals negative 3/7 x plus 4. Oh, there is something I do want to talk to you guys about with that one. But if you use the other point, you would say 1 equals negative 3/7 times 7 plus b. I'll turn my 7 into 7 over 1. I know I saw a lot of these when I was walking around. It's fine. I'm just looking for easier ways to do things. But whatever. Negative 21 over 7 plus b. And negative 21 over 7, that should be negative 3. Add 3, add 3. Yep, still getting 4. Let me show you something. I've got some graph paper over here. That original problem that I gave you, 0, 4, and 7, comma 1, well, if I go and graph those points 0, 4, and 7, comma 1, what's your y-intercept? 4. Oh, if you have a point with an x of 0, its y has got to be your y-intercept. This is the point, 0, comma 4. That puts it on the y-axis. Another little shortcut, I guess. When x is 0, that y value is your y-intercept. We don't really need to know that. We can just do our plugging in and everything works, but that really is just our y-intercept. We are going to practice more of these after math break. I'm going to shut off this.